This is Lizzie from Let Zoe Spoil You.
And Sagira from Sagira Salutes You. And together, we are Newbie versus Weeaboo. Sagira, Newbie.
Lizzie, a weeaboo.
It's Newbie versus Weeaboo.
Hello.
Hellos.
Hi.
That's my
Hi.
excitement. Hi. We start these off so enthusiastically.
I know, we've been getting less and less, but then the episodes we're watching are getting more and more sad.
I know.
So it's not so much, wow, look at all this stuff that's happening. It's more,
Yeah.
I've come away from that bummed out. So
Yeah, I'm definitely in the bummer phase. It's like, oh, that was sad.
I mean, even the title tells you that it's going to be a sad one. It's like, oh no.
Yeah.
But for those listening, we are talking about episode 23 of Neon Genesis Evangelion, and it's called Tears.
And there were tears.
Not tears of joy.
No, this is definitely a tears.
It's a tearjerker. So let's jump into this uplifting episode.
This emotional roller coaster that is Ava at the moment.
And also, I feel like in this episode, I don't know, there's just a whole... It kind of happened in the last episode, but there's this whole shift in... It felt like it was going from like a quirky children sci-fi type thing to an adult drama.
Yeah.
Dealing with some serious stuff. We have our opening song back, which is great. So even though it's a miserable episode that's happened lastly and now, we still get a bit of an upbeat intro, which makes you go, yay! So we open in Misato's flat, and it's a complete mess. She's clearly not looking after herself at the moment. And we can hear Kashi's voice, which means that she's listening to that message again, which is so sad. She's been in there a while because Shinji and Pen are outside, looking at a sign saying, "Do not come in, you will die if you come in.
Yeah.
I want to be alone." And Shinji says, "Shut in again." So this is obviously a common occurrence at the moment. He wonders if Asuka will be coming home, which means she's not been home either.
No.
So she's not been about. And I'm guessing this is because she's keeping a distance. She's been through a traumatic time, and she doesn't like Shinji. She doesn't like Misato. So go to someone who you do like.
She's not comfortable in that house anymore, so she is somewhere else.
And she is at Hikari's house, which is the class rep. I now know her name.
You finally remembered her name. Well done.
You've told me her name, but I never remember it. But now it's Hikari because it is mentioned in this episode. So I'm like, cool, I can write it down 1,000,000 times and remember it. But yes, Asuka is at Hikari's house, and Hikari talks to herself about how Asuka hasn't been to school and she hasn't been anywhere, really. She hasn't been home. All she does is sit around playing computer games. And aren't we all relatable to that at the moment?
God, yeah. I was just thinking, like, wow, that's my life. I haven't been to work. I haven't been anywhere. I walked up a hill to a shop today, and then I will probably go back to just playing video games today.
Exactly. So we can all relate to Asuka right now. They decide to go to bed, and they're both lying there awake, because who can sleep at these times? And Asuka confides in Hikari about the trouble that she's having with piloting the Ava, and that she hates everyone. And then she says that she hates herself. And I feel like that's quite a big thing to admit to someone, especially when you're you come across as a confident person. And she's admitting to her friend, "I hate myself." And that's really sad. Hikari tries to encourage her in a really I think you're great kind of way.
Yeah, poor Hikari doesn't know what to say to that. And because she doesn't obviously know the ins and outs of what's going on with the Ava stuff and things. So she really is like, "I'm sure you've done your best." Poor Hikari.
But this just makes Asuka cry. Nothing's going to console this poor girl. And Hikari doesn't comfort her. She just stares at the ceiling like, "I want to sleep."
Yeah, this is awkward. I don't know how to deal with this. But the thing is, Asuka's always presented herself as the kind of person that doesn't need that kind of emotional connection and comforting, which is really, so detrimental, because it turns out that all Asuka wants is someone to, hug her and hold her. But because she's put out this persona for so long, even her best friend doesn't know how to comfort her, because she thinks that if she touches her, then it won't be what Asuka wants.
She'll get yelled at like everyone else.
Yeah.
In Nerve HQ, we see Ritsuko, and she's having a conversation with her gran on the phone. And one of the cats have died. I'm guessing it's her grandma's cat, not her cat, because she's saying, "I'll pop over soon." And And it sounds like it died peacefully because
Yeah.
it slipped away. So that's comforting
I
to
think
know.
the idea is that it was a cat that died of old age.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's comforting rather than a
Got
horrific
squished by an
accident.
Ava accident, you know, drowned in some Ava blood when it went in the sea sometime. Building fell on it. Yeah.
I would have to pause the episode at that point and be like, I don't know if I can carry on with this.
No. But
death.
we've got a nice, peaceful kitty death.
Yes. So
It
it
was
had a
its
good
time.
life. It was with a family that loved cats, so that's all good. But then Ritsuko says, oh, that cat died. And it was very ominous that she said that.
Yeah.
Like, okay, yes, the cat died.
Yeah, you're starting. Yeah, I mean, it obviously starts making sense towards the end. It's like that she's kind of like her heart's growing a little bit cold at the moment.
But yes, it was quite disturbing from the way that she loves cats, and that's her reaction is kind of, oh, Ritsuko. We see a shot of space and the spear gliding quite gracefully
Yes,
through the
there
orbit.
you go. Lance of Longinus just floating past, going, "Hello, I'm in orbit now. Bye."
And it seems quite happy, to be honest. And Sile are doing a voice over it, saying about how they can't get it back. And this makes them annoyed. That's part of their plan. And yeah, they needed it to complete the Ava series. Is that what it was? That they needed it for that?
They need it for, I think so, but it's part of their plan. They needed it for reasons.
Yes.
I can't tell you what, but you'll find out.
Of course you can't.
Yeah. There's so much in this episode that I can't tell you. That would make everything make more sense. But I'm like, oh.
Questions within a mystery within a question.
Yeah.
But however, Gendo is sat in the circle of old man Sealy blocks.
Yeah,
Sealy
so they're no longer appearing to him in person because they're all
no.
in a mood. They're in such a mood of him going, no, we're not being friendly anymore. You can get the cold blocks of doom. You've been shut out.
And they're basically questioning about why has this happened? Why is our spear no longer in our orbit, in our planet? Why is it gone? And he's saying, well, I had to prioritize getting rid of the angel over what you needed it for. And they basically call bull crap because they think, no, you have a different plan. Without saying it outright, they're like...
It's like your answer of it was unavoidable doesn't really cut it.
No. So they're starting, Sile are onto him. They've been onto him for a while though. So yeah, they're kind of making it known to him that, hey, we're watching you. But then he gets out of it because there's a phone call. Bring. Oh, an angel's attacking. Oh no, I have to go. Soz.
Yeah.
Bit more important than your stupid interrogation. So off he pops to go deal with the angel. However, they threaten his future with Sile by saying, if you have a job to come back to. And they outright ask him, are you betraying us, Gendo? And we get no answer because it cuts to the next scene. Yep. But they are. I assume, like you would tell him, I'm like, yes, I'm totally betraying you. I'm doing my own thing. I'm screwing you all over. Have a nice day. Yep. I don't think so.
No. I mean, we all know this. But at the same time, he's definitely not stupid.
To Gendo, a giant talking block isn't really threatening to him.
No.
So,
he deals with far more disturbing things every day. The Sile, I don't think, are going to intimidate him.
So Misato is on her way in her car. She can't release Unit 1 because we find that that's not in her hands. She can talk about Unit 2 and Unit 0, but Unit 1, because of what happened, it's grounded and it's now Gendo's responsibility. So she says, he's got to stay, I'm sorry.
Yep, until Gendo gives the word that it can go back into action, no Unit 1.
And Gendo wants to launch Unit 2 as a decoy because they don't trust Asuka at this point because she's just been through a horrific time. She's clearly not herself and she's not syncing correctly. So they're like, you know what, just use it as a decoy. If Ray's in trouble, Asuka can get it.
Yeah,
so.
It's really upsetting because the one thing that Asuka hates is the idea, because to her, the Avas are dolls, Rei is a doll. She hates this thing of dolls, but she's the one person that's being treated as an inanimate object and just something to be tossed aside. And she's become the doll that she hates so much.
The angel is a big circle in the sky and it's like intertwining beams of light and it's reminiscent of a halo.
Yeah.
An angel's halo, which adds to the theme. Rei is waiting. She's sat there with her gun. And they can't attack as the Magi can't work out how. It's not...
Basically.
Can't give anything saying, it could attack psychologically, it could attack physically, it might disappear. We don't know what will happen.
No.
So whatever Rei does, it might just anger it. And
yeah, and they say that it's going from pattern blue to orange, so it's going from like, it's an angel, it's not an angel, it's an angel, it's not an angel, it's an angel. So they're like, well, it's not stabilised either. We have no idea how to deal with this thing that can't decide for itself at the moment.
So Rei has to hold back. She's not allowed to do anything until the Magi goes, do this. They tell Rei to hold off, but she sees it changes. She's like, oh, something's happening. And by then it's too late. The angel breaks its circle and becomes a single cord of light, which pierces Rei's AT field and impales Unit 0. And Rei grabs it in. She tries shooting it.
Bing, bing. And it's like, nope.
It's quite a comical thing of her just grabbing this thing like a snake and shooting at it.
What else would you do when a weird glowing snake has just tried to jump inside your stomach? You're like, nope. Shoot it, I think.
I don't want worms.
No.
As you say, nada, nothing happens. All you hear is ping, 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 where it's bouncing off of its, I guess, AT field. The angel is fully trying to infect Unit 0 and Rei, because as we see its veins popping out Unit 0 of this thing infecting it, we also see that on Rei, and she's being
assimilated.
Taken over.
Yeah.
Yes, as her Unit 0 is. And Ritsuko thinks that maybe the angel is trying to make first contact with Unit 0. Maybe it's trying to give a message or do an angel thing. I don't know.
It's trying to talk to the unit.
Yeah, have a conversation. Oh, hi. Because Rei is starting to feel it as well, Misato orders Unit 2 to go and help.
Yeah, so Misato decides to launch Unit 2, and it comes up and it opens up, and she's like, okay, Asuka, right, get your gun, go to this block, rescue Rei, and then Asuka has that horrible, heartbreaking line of, oh no, it's not yet, the heartbreaking line.
No, I know what line you're talking about, and no, it's not yet.
No.
But yes, it is.
So,
it is heartbreaking, but we'll get there in a minute.
She just doesn't move, and Misato's like, what's going on? And her sync ratio's in like single digits, and yeah, Asuka can't pilot anymore.
As you say, Asuka can't move. She's not trying hard, but she's going, come on, work, damn it.
Yeah.
But as you said, there's a sync rate in the single digits, so Unit 2 can't pick up on what Rei wants.
Well, Asuka wants.
Yes. This is a common occurrence of getting Asuka and Rei confused from both of us. It's fun to edit.
I know, exactly. The two of us are just like, Asuka, Rei, Asuka, Rei, Asuka, Rei. Ah, damn it!
The German and the Japanese girl.
Yeah, they're quite different, but it's, no.
Rei has a Shinji moment with the angel as it asks, well, it looks like Rei, so Rei seeing herself, and the angel asks to be one with Rei. They want to fuse. So that moment what Shinji has when the three women are going, be one with me, Shinji, be one with me. Yeah. This is now what Rei is having, but Rei is asking herself to be one.
Yeah, there's a lot of a calmer headspace for Rei. And you'll find out, obviously, there's more to it, so I can't explain too much. But basically, she asks, who is this? Oh, this is the Rei inside Unit 0. So you kind of get the idea that if there are souls inside these exits, her own soul is inside this. But the angel is legitimately having a conversation with her. So it's not trying to attack her in the way, because it's not attacking humanity. It's having a conversation, and it feels Rei's pain. Then Rei feels its pain, and then Rei goes, actually, this is not what you're feeling. What you're feeling is loneliness, and that the angels are lonely.
Oh, yes. I mean, the sequence that happens is that the angel asks if Rei can feel its pain and its heartache. Rei informs the angel, no, that's not what you're feeling. What this feeling is loneliness. But then the angel turns around and says, actually, psych, that's you. Yeah. You're feeling loneliness.
That weird, strange thing that Rei and the angel actually do understand each other. And they actually feel a connection. And they're beginning to communicate, which is obviously the one thing that, well, you know, Ritsuko definitely has been like, oh my god, are they communicating? I don't want them communicating.
Rei starts to cry, which is unusual to her. She's like, tears? What? Hence the title Tears. And something monstrous shoots out from Unit 0. We don't quite know what it is currently because it quickly cuts to Gendo and he says to deploy Unit 1. It's going down.
Yep.
Get that thing out there. And also, Rei is in trouble, so get it out.
Yeah.
Misato is surprised, but does it anyway. And Unit 2 is taken back into Nerve, which is then the heartbreaking line of, it's not fair. You didn't deploy Unit 1 when I was in trouble. It's like, oh, she wanted Shinji to save her. Or she wanted someone to care enough to save her.
Yeah.
However, when it was happening, she kept refusing to come back or to move away from it because she wanted to carry on and fight it.
Yeah.
So they were doing what she told
Well,
them
that's the
to
problem
do.
with Oscar. This facade that she's put out has become so strong. Because remember, she kept saying, that's not me, that's not me. All this time, she does want human contact and she does want someone to save her, but she just is so insecure that she never admitted. So people assumed that she didn't want someone to save. They assumed that she would have been even more mad if Shinji came to the rescue. But you saw that in her delusions and a twisted mind and everything, that she really wanted Shinji to just make a bit more of an effort and form that connection with her and come and save her. Which is why she's also so pissed off that it's Rei that saves her, because she didn't want Rei to save her, she wanted Shinji to save her. But she's played this character so much, and all this rejection of people around her has meant that people have rejected her, and no one was able to break past that. No one was able to break past the layers of her heart, and obviously she wasn't able to connect with the heart of her Ava as well, because she could never, to this point, has never been able to be truly honest with herself.
Unit 1 is released and the angel turns its attention onto Shinji. It's like, new meat. So it shoots off and it connects with Shinji as it did with Rei, so it impales and starts to, all the veiny pops and stuff. Shinji stabs it and he hears Rei's voice.
You can hear, first you hear the scream. You can hear her screaming in pain. And it's like, and you kind of assume, well, that makes sense. They're both connected now.
But also, if Shinji hears Rei's voice, then that's going to affect him more than some random voice.
Yeah.
So if he thinks that he's hurting Rei, then that will stop him stabbing the angel. The end of the angel turns into Rei, which is a bit disturbing. Real Rei asks, is that what my heart wants, to be one with Shinji? So now it's a connection thing of, what is her relationship with Shinji? Does she want to be one with him in a romantic way, in a hero way, I don't know,
spiritual way?
Yeah.
And I don't think she fully understands it herself, but she knows that she's not lonely when she's with him, and therefore that's manifested in this connection, in this bond, and the angel is using that bond as well by manifesting her.
Well, now that Rei sees that Shinji's in trouble, she inverts her AT field and this absorbs the angel back into her. And the core cannot hold this. It's corrupting and it's getting bad. Things are bad.
Things are very bad.
So they tell Rei to eject. They're like, get out of there, get away. But she says that because she is the soul of the Ava, if she goes, the AT field will go, which will release the angel again. So she has to stay to do that. And very Rei thing to do.
Yes.
So the angel is fully absorbed. This is interesting. So just before anything happens, Rei sees Gendo in front of her smiling at him. It's like a kind of hallucination type thing.
Yeah, she's having, memory thoughts and things, and she's having this memory of him smiling at her.
And then from that, we see Unit 0 standing up, but it's as if someone's picking him up, as if someone is pulling, because the arm goes up.
Yeah.
And then it gets lifted. So it's like someone is lifting up Unit 0. So maybe in Rei's mind, she's seeing Gendo picking her up.
Yeah.
Possibly.
I mean, it's an amazing... And the thing is, the little scenes within it are so short, but so powerful. So it goes from... It's infecting Shinji and Unit 1. And Rei doesn't want any harm to come to Shinji because she feels like she's bonding with him. And there's that connection there. Shinji doesn't want to hurt the angel anymore, especially by the time Rei's faces start appearing in his hand, going, please don't hurt me, don't hurt me. So the angel is sending these images of Rei throughout him. So she decides that what she's going to do is implode her core, which will make her implode inside herself. And what's very interesting is as the angel is sucked into her, a core makes her look like she's almost like she gets a pregnant belly and stuff. And all the weird corrupted stuff you see shooting out the back of her is obviously, we know that these structures are organic. So it's the angel and the organic Ava merging and trying to form a new life. And you see the faces of the other angels that have previously attacked inside that thing that comes out of her back. But now it's all sucked back into her tummy as if, and she looks pregnant, but then the tummy caves in because the core is imploding. Big sacrificial moment. And I'm like, oh God, not Rei! I love Rei so much.
But the thing is, before she explodes, she turns into a giant Rei with a halo around her.
Yes.
And then she explodes.
Yes.
So that was like,
Yes, I really can't say more about that. So basically, This is Rei and that angel kind of become one, but we see Rei turn into an angel and then die.
The angel is considered to be gone. They start a rescue mission to go and see what they can find of Rei, which leads us on to part 2, Rei 3. The teams are out and they're at the battle site trying to look for anything, but there's no components of the angel. The angel's just gone. So they ask Ritsuko and she says to declare this as a top secret mission, and they are to retrieve the plug and get rid of everything else.
Yeah.
So I assume that means get rid of what's left of Unit 0.
Yeah, the evidence of everything gone.
The Old Man Council reflect on the angels of the past, and they say that they have defeated angels up until Angel 16, and according to the scrolls, there is one angel left.
Yeah.
And that is because we are on episode 23, so so the best being not many left.
Yeah, it's only about 3 episodes to go now, so you know.
Exactly. They claim it's almost time, because the last angel is on its way. Almost
Yep.
time for what, Old Man Council?
Ooh.
And they are experiencing great losses from everything that's happened. So they've lost the spear, and now they've lost Unit 0. And they think they need to do something big to get Gendo's attention because they want to get rid of the guy. So they need to do something to get his attention, and maybe a dismissal, hopefully. They are thinking of someone who knows the whole truth.
Yeah.
Cut to Ritsuko. No, not Ritsuko.
Yeah.
And we see her sat at her computer, and she's looking at a picture of herself, her mother, and Gendo.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's her, even though they've got purple hair, because like you said, she bleached it.
Yeah, it's definitely young her. She looks like a mother, after all.
Yeah, true. But yes, it's the two of them and Gendo. So again, it's a very short scene, which doesn't seem like it's got much to it. However,
Speaks
it actually
volumes.
does. Yes. Cut to Shinji on his bed, listening to some music. Could we assume that this is another song that he's working out with Vision to, or is it just
It's just his
general
music.
downtime?
This is downtime play music. Helps him shut out the world.
I was going to say, otherwise we're going to be expecting a funky old battle next time, because that was some funky old music. Misato comes in, sits with him, and Shinji's sad about Rei, of course. He says he can't cry, he can't get the tears to come. Misato tries to hold his hand, but he doesn't want it. He rolls over and she leaves him because
She doesn't,
she
yeah.
doesn't know what to do.
No, Shinji's in just too much shock about losing Rei that he can't cry at this moment, and it's not physical contact he wants. He wants something more than that. He just needs to process.
And at first she says maybe he's scared of women, but then she realizes no, possibly intimacy that he's scared of, because things like hand holding and just touching in general, it's a bit new and strange to him, because if he grew up without parents, basically, he wouldn't have that connection with people because he doesn't know how to.
Yeah.
Pen is watching telly, and Misato tries to call him over. She's like, "Come here, Pen," and he's like, "No." And then she realizes, oh wait, I'm lonely. I need intimacy. Even a penguin won't come near me.
Yeah.
Anything would do, and it's not doing it. So
she's very lonely right now, Misato. She's losing all her connections herself.
Yes, because Kaji is gone. Shinji doesn't want to know at the moment. Ritsuko's keeping secrets, so she doesn't feel like she can trust her. Yeah, she's not having a great time, Misato. Gendo and the deputy commander are looking at Rei's tube and lamenting.
Illuminating.
Illuminating.
I mean, the tube is illuminating the room, but they're not illuminating the tube.
No, they're lamenting. They are lamenting about Rei and the fact that she's gone, in commas. She's gone. Misato's flat, and her phone rings, and she calls for Shinji because Rei's okay. Yay! Look at that, Rei's okay. What a shock. And they rush to the medical unit, and she's awake as well, not even in a coma. Oh, wow, she went through all that, and she's okay. Oh, my goodness. Well, she's got bandages, but yeah. Shinji tries to thank her for saving him, but she doesn't remember. And she says it's probably because she's the third one.
Yeah.
Clone. The third Rei. Yeah. And that then goes back to the titles of these episodes. So you've got Rei, you've got Rei 2, and this one is Rei 3 because she's the third Rei.
So we've been following Rei 2 for all of this. Obviously, little Rei 1 got killed by Akagi, and then obviously Rei 2 just died. This is the third Rei. And Rei 2 was the Rei that had started connecting to her emotions, realising she had feelings, realising she had a soul and a person. So our Rei, the Rei that is beautiful and sweet and is learning how to love, is dead. And Rei 3 is here.
However, Back at the flat, or at Ray's flat, she takes off her bandages and she's completely fine underneath. So it was all a facade, all the bandages. And then she sees Gendo's glasses and she picks them up. She goes to crush them, but then she cries. And she says, "This is the first time I've cried, and yet it doesn't feel like it." So she's having memories from the Ray before her.
Yeah, so something has transferred over. We're assuming the soul has transferred over.
Gendo wants to keep up his surveillance on the children, and the deputy commander doesn't think that Seeley will be happy if they find out that Ray is dead. No, not that she's dead, that she lives. Because I'm assuming that Seeley don't know about the Ray
stuff, no.
clones.
Nope.
So if they think that she's dead and then suddenly, oh, hi, she's back, it's like, hang on a moment.
Yeah, how did she survive that without a scratch?
Gendo says they have something else to occupy them at the moment instead of Ray, which back at the old man brick council, Ritsuko is standing in the middle of them and she's completely naked. Now, am I to assume that she's not wearing a wire or anything?
Yeah, because this is the first meeting. She's been sent off as the sacrificial lamb, but to prove that she's not spying for Gendo or has any ulterior motive, and it's also demeaning to her to know that she's happy to demean herself in their eyes, so that she knows where her place is, and therefore they can trust her.
Yeah, I was hoping that was why. I was hoping that they weren't just a council of dirty old men who just degrade women by having them naked in their circle. Yeah. But good, yes, wire, glad.
Yes, because she is like one of the only female council members, there's definitely a degree of making sure they humiliate her to put her in her place.
As you said, they make it clear that it was Gendo that sent her, so Gendo knows that she's there, and it was all to prevent them from talking to Ray.
Oh, then we say that Ritsuko's jealous of this, obviously. And she was like, oh, even I have been sacrificed for Rei. I'm not as important as her.
Misato's flat, and there's a new message, and it's from Kaji. Kaji, a new voice. Oh, my goodness. It's not a new phone call, sadly, though. It is a message that he left her in the pill he gave her in a previous episode.
Yay!
Which was the last gift he would ever give her because he was going to die.
Yep. Now you know why he said that.
Yes. So what he gave her was a message that it was a passcode for the secret places because he's changed it and now only Misato can use it. And he gave her a code that only the two of them would know. And this kind of makes her realise that he loved her and he was still looking out for her even though he knew he was going to die. And it's
all just heartbreaking again. He truly was in love with her this whole time. Just like she was the only one for him, and he wanted to make sure that if anything and all the conspiracy and everything, at least she would know the truth and she would be safe and she would have all the information she needed to come out of this.
Kaji's a good man. He was a bit of a dog, but he was a good man. Old Man Council again. They're getting a lot in this Seeley. It's a lot of Seeley action. They have let Ritsuko go, and they kept her alive because they think that she could still be useful. There are now 8 Avas and only 4 left to make. And they said that once the last 4 are made, they can start their plan. And it's to do with Tokyo 3. I didn't quite understand this bit, so you explain what they're doing to Tokyo 3.
Well, we don't know what the plan is yet, but the destruction of Tokyo 3 is going to be the catalyst for what they're planning.
Okay, so it was the destruction. Good. Because I wrote destruction, I was like, is that what they're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. Yay! I understand. Back at Misato's flat again. The phone rings and it's Shinji who answers this time because Misato is elsewhere. It's Ritsuko who tells him that he is not being watched anymore. He is no longer under surveillance, so he can go outside. Can you imagine just went, okay, hung up and just carried on with what he was doing?
Yeah, I was watching something. I don't need to go anywhere. Thanks for that, but I've got nowhere to go.
No, come outside, you doofus.
This is some spy. Come on, I'm being covert.
We see somebody going to the door that we saw Kaji going into when they found Adam. And she tries to punch the code in to get in, but it says, no, you cannot come in. That is no longer the code. And Misato is there with her gun, as she did with Kaji in the back. So it's all very
reminiscent
and circles and blah. And she's like, haha, I'm the only one with the code now, so you have to tell me things. Haha. Booyah.
Yeah, but slightly more professional sounding.
Oh, yeah.
And angry sounding. She just go, booyah! I'm a Ninja Turtle now.
Booyah, bitch.
Oh, no, not booyah. Booyah's not Ninja Turtle.
That's Cowabunga.
Yeah, I'm thinking of, Teen Titan. Cyborg. That's his catchphrase.
Booyah. She demands that Risoko And it's slowly turning into risotto.
Yeah. I like risotto. I haven't had one in a while.
I've been watching a lot of Gordon Ramsay, so risotto's.
Why is the fish raw? Why are you a donkey? I can punch a salmon. I love it.
Raw! Misato wants Ritsuko to tell her all the secrets now. She's like, I will let you in, but you have to tell me everything. Ritsuko goes, that's fine, but booyah, here's Shinji.
That's so funny. Are you trying to bring some like longevity to a really depressing episode and some really like upsetting visuals? It's like things are just getting darker and weirder and more upsetting. So booyah, booyah to your pain, booyah to this plot reveal, booyah to death and genocide.
Mic drop. We need something, like you said, it's just so depressing. Like, it's like, oh no, everyone's so sad and stressed out and they can all do with a holiday. So that's fine, Shinji can come. So off they go. The three of them go down in the giant lift and they come to the Artificial Evolution Laboratory. It's quite a fancy name for a room with a bed in it. And Shinji thinks it looks a lot like Rei's room, to which Ritsuko says, this was Rei's room. She was born and grew up here. And not allowed to ask any more about that because Misato was like, I don't care. Next room. Come on.
I was like,
I want different secrets.
And it's like, no, look around this. And it's like, I mean, she explains how that's why her current room looks like that, because it imprinted. But it's like that whole time before she moved to the apartment she's in, she would have lived in that room. That was where she would have grown up with. So no wonder she thinks Gendo is like the most amazing thing ever, because he's probably the only person that ever visited her and the only person that took her out of that room and the only person that ever smiled at her, because she was literally a science experiment that lived out in the room. And you can see that she's painted words all over the walls and stuff. I think one of them in the background is loneliness. And it's just like, no wonder she's so stilted, because like, if you're thinking like along the clone, sometimes a clone is just grown and is already the age that they pop out. It's like, no, she had a whole childhood and living in that room. Sad times.
I mean, it's basically a prison cell. She doesn't know any better. She doesn't know any other life. So to her, it's normal. But to anyone else, it's a prison cell. She's underground, so there's no windows. And it's probably quiet as hell. And I mean, they keep Adam somewhere around there. So she could be hearing things from that. And that's disturbing. So really not a nice place for a child to grow up, clone or otherwise. They are shown a large pit with giant bones in it. And we are told that these are past failed Ava experiments. So they've been doing this for a long time. And it's done it a lot, because there it's a big old pit.
Yeah, it's from 10 years ago.
And Ritsuko tells Shinji at this point that this is where his mother disappeared. And he was there when it happened. It's like, wow, Ritsuko. Yeah. She's like, don't do it slowly and like, tenderly or anything. Just tell him, God.
Yeah. But I mean, as you see through this episode, she's slowly like becoming more emotionless, and she's cutting ties and she's cutting her connections, because obviously this series is all about like connecting with each other, and she's severing all those connections, and she's stilling her heart, and she's growing cold, all ready for what she's going to do at the end of the episode. But yeah, this Ava graveyard, it's harsh. And also knowing it's like actual bones, so they are totally organic living beings. And this is obviously one of the test sites, and it's the test site where the mum disappeared into the ether.
This is the point where Ritsuko reveals an awful lot. I mean, I don't want to say everything, because we don't know it's everything, and she doesn't know everything. She doesn't know everything that Gendo's doing. She just knows what she knows. So she tells us everything that she knows. And she does it all standing in front of Rei's little cylinder that we've seen her in a couple of times. But then they do two light reveals. The first light reveal is that Shinji is there, and it's got that sound effect. Shinji's here. Room full of Reis.
Yeah.
And around them is more tanks with fluid in. They're just these really creepy Rei clones. Are you all right?
I can't work out if it's a wasp or a fly that's in here. I think it's a fly, so I'm going to ignore it now.
Did you have to do it when I was doing my big Rei reveal?
Sorry. It was really distracting. It was like...
You were really distracting. Well, the moment's over. There's lots of Reis. God.
Sorry. Start again, my dear.
No, we're just carrying on. There's Reis and tanks. That's how we get to get. Yes, Reis and tanks. Well, one big tank full of fluid, and they're just
the fluid they use to breathe in the Avas. So it's the LC fluid.
And they're all creepily smiling because they have no souls. They are literally just a shell. They are parts. Ritsuko says that they are literally parts for Rei.
Yeah.
So if she loses an arm or something, they just grab one of them, take its arm, and pop it
Reattach
back
it.
on.
She loses an organ, they're all just organ donors. They are lifeless, just dolls.
Creepy. More dolls, and they said it's where the dummy plug was made.
Yeah.
They mean the actual tube thing that they sit in. That's the dummy plug. Or is Rei the dummy plug?
Okay, so they have the plug, but you know how they all have now a dummy plug in them as well? And I've been saying, like, when Rei spends time in that thing, it's her consciousness being uploaded into that massive brain thing to create a conscious structure to trick the Avas into thinking there's a soul in there, but there's no souls. There's just thinking there's a consciousness in there. So this is where they've been making the dummy plug. They've been making the structure, and it's not a physical. There's not like Rei clones in actual plugs in there. It's all like there's a conscious algorithm to make the Ava think that there's a human brain inside the thing, but obviously it has no soul, because you saw what happens when the dummy plug was activated. It just turned the thing into the Ava 1 into a mindless beast.
Now, I'm going to say what Ritsuko said in the way that I understood it, and then if I miss anything at the end, you can tell me.
Okay, let's do this bit by bit.
So mankind found God, and they tried to control it.
Very much what man would do.
But mankind was punished, and this is the second impact.
Yes.
So it wasn't anything to do with the Avas. It was the fact that they were trying to control this God, trying to get it to do what they wanted it to do. And it went, no, I'm not having this anymore. Boom, there goes the Antarctic.
Yep.
And then the God vanished. He went, bye, deal with that. Mankind tried to make their own God, who was Adam.
Yep.
So the first of its kind. And then from Adam came the Avas. So when they took the spear out of Adam and all those little legs came, that's potential Avas.
Potential kind of like the DNA and the little bits that could be turned into Avas, yeah. It's the new life forms.
And they're saying, like humans are in God's form, the Avas are like in Adam's form. So then Shinji says, so Avas are humans, which then leads on to Attack on Titan, but we'll do that another day. So they are not mechanical in any way, other than their restraints and that everything else inside is human. Yeah. Essentially.
Yes, they are. They may not look 100% human as humans have evolved to look like us, because angels don't look 100% human.
Avas still didn't have a soul. They were literally just, like Rei, just the shell, the physical form of human.
So they managed to make these creatures but weren't able to give them souls.
However, they said only Rei has a soul. Yes. So was she made from Adam?
You have to wait and find out.
I get so close and then you throw me back again. It's like, oh, you're nearly there, you're nearly there. No!
Well, I'm not going to give you spoilers before you find out for yourself, am I?
But that's what they said. They said the Avas had no souls, only Rei did.
Yes.
So they're kind of telling you that Rei is a clone of Adam, but they haven't outright said it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So these other Reis, they don't have souls and they're just shells and everything. And because of that, Ritsuko is like, I don't want them anymore. Bam, dead. And she presses a button and they all disintegrate and decompose to nothing. And it's quite horrible. So even though they're not real per se.
Yeah, they haven't got a soul in them, but because there's only one soul, a soul cannot have more than one body. So they can the soul somehow is managing to transfer into whenever they bring out a new Rei to house it. But she's a little bit like, she's a shell. But the Rei that we know has her own soul, but her body is created from things that are not Rei. So Rei is the soul, not the body. The body is made of other stuff. It becomes Rei Ayanami once they put the soul in a body. But it's just these things floating in tanks are just vessels for the soul that is Rei.
Yeah, it's not like they just disappear, like it just kind of does little bits.
No.
Like you actually see like skin being pulled and
they decay and they
horrible.
Yeah.
But she says how much she hates them. And what she says next, it kind of alludes to that she was also tricked by Gendo in the same way that her mother was, as in a relationship. As in he's a dirty old man who just uses women to get what he wants. The bastard.
Yeah. So you find out that moment when she says, well, I'm not one to talk about having a secret relationship, that she is also in love with Gendo. And she is no better than her mother. And there'll be other stuff revealed later. But essentially, and may have also loved him from earlier on. which is part of the problem. But the relationship between her and her mother was a bit stilted because they were also, But yeah, again, she thought she was having a real relationship or was really in love with him, and he just used those emotions for his own goals, and his own goals have always been this thing that is Rei, and no other woman is going to ever compare to this thing that is Rei, and it just sends Ritsuko over the edge that she was just another pawn.
Because you saying that makes me think that the soul, because they keep referring to how much Rei is like Yui, and Gendo is very much in love with her and everything. So one would assume that the consciousness that they retrieved was Yui in some way. I think I'm being very clever with all this. You're just taking it away.
Well, yeah, because I don't want spoilers until it's revealed to you in the episodes. But you have got some wonderful thoughts, and some of them are right.
Well, thank you. It's nice to
and some of them are kind of right, but there's way more to it. Because every time you think you know the truth in Ava, it's way more than you thought it could be.
Indeed.
Like, if you think about the beginning of the series, do you think you would have ended up, when I first showed you this series, did you think you were going to end up in human angel clones and a dialogue on what is man and should man play God?
I thought it was about giant robots.
Yeah. But as I said, they were never robots.
No, they were never robots. And then Ritsuko breaks down saying Misato might as well shoot her because, she's just done with everything. She knows she's going to get in trouble because technically Rei is property to Nerve and she's destroyed it. So she's going to be in big trouble. Yeah. Not to mention it's Rei.
Yeah, Yeah, Gendo's not going to be pleased about this. And then she obviously just went straight up and betrayed Seilei as well, kind of thing, going, I'm giving away all the secrets to everything. I'm on nobody's side but my own.
Misato says, like, this is what happens when you're obsessed with the Avas, but then am I any different? And then credits.
Yes. Ooh, you forgot one little scene. There's the scene of Gendo and Fuyusuke standing in front of the tube.
I said that where they're lamenting. That was the one I meant, but I didn't actually say what they said.
Yes, they said that Fuyusuke says Rei, the soul of Rei, represents my despair, and to Gendo it represents its hope, and it's why neither of them can let go of Rei. Yeah, they're both connection to Yui.
So, so we're on to episode 24. Ooh, it's getting good. I keep every time I end it, it's like it's getting good. No, it is good.
It's good, but it's getting whoo. It's what? Wait, why? So many cool things for you to experience. Getting so excited. I just want you to see it all.
Okay, Lizzie. So now I don't know whether to carry on with our what should we do over quarantine. Or we could do, what have you learnt about yourself since being in quarantine? I can tell you something that I've learned about myself.
You do that because I'm like,
I am very easily addicted to these stupid little iOS games. Too easily. So I had 3 games on my iPad going. I had 2 games on my phone going. It's all like collecting stuff within the time limit. But when one would finish, another one would start. So I just jumped from game to game. Yeah, I had to get out of that. I was becoming very unproductive.
Oh my
goodness. That's what I've learned about me in quarantine is that I cannot be too long on a phone or an iPad because otherwise I will become addicted to silly games that waste time and I would get nothing else done. And I literally have to tell myself, stop it.
I mean, I've learned how to shave the back of my head, but that's not really learning something about yourself. I just learned that
you have a skill of bending your arm to the back of your head.
Well, I got clippers and I've been learning how to cut my own hair. I mean, not the proper part. I'm just learning how to clipper my sides. That's the new skill I learned over this period.
That's good.
I've learned to be better at Bloodborne. Because I've died so many times, I'm getting better at the game.
That's good. See, you're learning things about yourself. Yay!
Yay! I've learnt to bake bread.
Another thing. See, I make brownies.
There we go. I mean, the bread maker does most of the work, but still. Yeah,
Betty Crocker, not a sponsor, was very much involved in my making of brownies.
Still, things were made.
Yeah, exactly. New things.
Yeah.
To experience. Well, not experience. I've had a brownie many a time.
Yeah.
I've never baked a brownie.
There we go. Yeah. So that's other stuff I'm doing other than the same things I do over and over.
I keep saying credits now. Social media.
Or my social media are coming on of a sea of tears because I was sad this episode because I really like Rei too. And I was like, she was coming so far, so come my tears. And they come out and smugly crying, yeah. And some sea of tears floating past. Drip, 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 tears. Ooh, drip.
My social media is going to come on a sea of clones. Of me! Clone, 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 clone. Many me. Clone, 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 clone. Maybe one of you. There's a clone of you. Then me. Clone, clone, clone.
Maybe your clones are floating in a sea of tears. They're drowned! They're drowned! The sea of tears! So many clones! Too many nicks!
There goes Lizzie. Bye, Lizzie. Oh dear. I need to stop doing this to myself.
I know. You were like, let's do an easier one this week. No! You are now going to be a sea of clones that drowns in a sea of tears.
Say goodbye, Lizzie.
So for now, this is a weeaboo saying Johnny.
And from a newbie, it's clone.